So it appears we're not infallible. Unfortunately, due to Dan's lack of diligence, i.e. my lack of diligence, with our Paladin base class episode, I never checked if my microphone was actually recording that. So the entire episode is just Leo responding to comments in the ether, which is quite funny. So maybe expect a short or two on that. But for now, Paladin base class will be delayed by about a week. Thank you for understanding. It's really funny. My head's all over the place. I'm currently doing my dissertation for college. So yeah, thank you for understanding, and we shall see you in Paladin base class next week. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, or whatever ungodly hour you find yourself listening. We are the Bards Against Humanity, here to strum your loot and absolutely wreck your ear holes. So prepare for a podcast that's going to hit harder than an at one in bed, because we're coming in your ears.
That's right, it's your boy Leo. Hoo-hoo. And, of course, the intro of by hoo-hoo. I go, what? So hoo-hoo.
You also go yo-yo. So did you go oi-oi?
I also go yo-yo, yeah. Well, we'll find out next week. And of course, I am here being ridiculed by our beautiful Daniel, our succulent co-poster, our pita. Yeah, it's Dan.
Do you want to try that one more time, buddy?
Nope, aced it.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Absolutely aced it. And today we are going to be talking about the Paladin subclass, Oath of Devotion.
Hell yeah!
You've got a thing, you know, you got an opinion or two about devotion, don't you, buddy?
Took me a second there. I was like, do you mean the subclass that I said last week? I'm not a big fan of paladins, but I'm realizing that he's referring to the fact that I'm getting married next year.
For marriage. Don't do that at your wedding.
You kind of broke that. You kind of broke up there a second ago. All I heard was, get to marriage.
Oh, good. That's fine. That's fine.
Was that the I don't know, is the Princess Bride, or it's not? I don't think it's Princess Bride. It is. Is that the marriage? Marriage is what brings us here together today.
It's like a circle. It's no square, no triangle. It's a circle. That's a slightly different movie, but I don't give a shit. that is not in that movie. It works. Weddings are weddings, man.
Weddings are weddings, and they are really exciting once you actually get into the planning things and stop stressing about it.
Oh, so like if you have money, then you're fine. Then it becomes really fun.
Well, we don't necessarily have money, but that's what the next year and a half is for. We're saving.
Oh god, how big is it? It's relatively big, isn't it?
Yeah, we're about 130 on the guest list. Like
130. That's like 129 strangers. Ugh. 128. I know you.
You also know the other two groomsmen. You know all of the bridesmaids and the maid of honor. You know my mum and dad. I'm pretty sure you've met Rachel's mum and dad. You know my grandparents. It's at least 100 strangers.
It's at least that's so many. Like imagine, like forget it's a wedding, right? Dan, I cordially invite you to an event. There's going to be 130 people. You'll know at max 30. And you'll only really want to talk to maybe 4.
So you're inviting me to a rather large 21st birthday party.
I am inviting you to a rather large 21st.
Where they just fucking bring everybody and no one knows anyone else, apparently.
Very good. That's tickled me.
Yeah,
that's caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Because they do invite everyone.
They do.
It's ridiculous. Oh, Aunt Jolene wants to invite her friends. Fuck it, why not? It's the 21st.
Fuck it, why not? We'll all be drunk anyway, so we won't give a shit.
We won't give a shit.
But yeah, no, it is exciting because we were at the time of recording, we were at a wedding fair for the place we've actually booked, so we didn't need to necessarily see the vendors that they had there because we've pretty much booked everything we need, bar dresses and suits. But they had kind of just everything on display, like the decor wise and some of the the kind of like evening accompaniments. Like I think I was talking to you before about the late night bites that we'd booked for the venue.
Yes,
it's literally just a takeaway. It's fantastic. And because we'd
Love
registered
that.
to go there in advance, they had given us a voucher for it, or like a little coupon thing, so we could literally just go up and get a bite to eat from the late night bites, and the food is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a really good idea to have for weddings. Just have vendors. No,
Yeah, but
obviously you want to do the big fuck off meal, but it's like they go on for time. I won't be able to I won't be able to finish your wedding. I'm definitely going to be the first one to go home. I always am, and that was when I was healthy. Let alone after I got sick. And it'd be like 3:00, and I'm like, I want to go home. I'm done now. And this wedding that I went to, we were the first to go home. It was 5:00 in the morning, and I'm like, fuck this. This is stupid. No one's going home soon. Everyone's gotten paraplegic, and I'm the only one who's somewhat sober. And people have whipped out Irish music, and we've been doing this for an hour yet. I cannot sing along. I can't Irish dance, so I cannot dance along with it. And there were people who were like, take out the broom. It was. I was like, I've just stumbled upon. What happened to the wedding? I'm now at the fla. What happened?
I'm at the fla. We've gone to the Booley house now. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. It was like, what? What? Granted, right now, I hadn't, sleep wasn't great at the time, but it was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call it. I fought for my life for like 2 hours. Even okay. I think I wanted to make sure little kids went home before me. That was my aim. And those fuckers didn't go home till like 2 a.m. I'm like, parents, this is irresponsible.
It's a wedding.
That kid's 5.
It's a wedding. They're of course gonna let the kids stay up.
How are they staying up till 1 if they've never done it before? I'm on to their game.
Kids,
anyway,
sugar, energy, dancing. Yeah, that's pretty much just a recipe for I'm not going to bed early.
And it's not like it started late either. This started at like 1:00 in the afternoon. Like I've been here for over 12 hours. Same as little fucking Sean, I'm gonna call him. Little fucking Sean's also been here for 12 hours. Why aren't you tired, Sean? Go to bed. I cannot leave before you. Oh god. Anyway, we are talking about the oath of devotion. More wedding jokes. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I was about to say, with many a wedding joke chucked in, but this is, according to Paladins, this is what the oath of devotion is. The oath of devotion binds Paladins to the ideals of justice and order. These Paladins meet the archetype of the knight in shining armor. They hold themselves to the highest standards of conduct, and some, for better or worse, hold the rest of the world to the same standards. Many who swear this oath are devoted to gods of law and good, and use their god's tenets as the measure of personal devotion. Others hold angels as their ideals and incorporate images of angelic wings to their helmet or coat of arms. These paladins share the following tenets. Let your word be your promise. Protect the weak and never fear to act. Let your honorable deeds be an example. So, pretty standard, not much. No one's getting married. But you're a good guy. You is good guy.
Yeah, you're kind of like the Prince Charming, but not the Prince Charming from Shrek, because he was just a dick. But like the noble hero who goes on crusade for the good of the kingdom. Yeah, you're Shrek. Shrek is an oath of devotion paladin. Prove me wrong.
You heard it here first. He beat a dragon with barely wielding a sword. He wields it for a total of 1 second. One strike.
Yeah. That's it. All he needed was one divine smite, and that was it.
I'm about to say, didn't absolutely fucking stab the shit out of the dragon. But yes, that is the Oath of Devotion. It's a pretty bog standard class from my memory of it anyway. It's fine. So I'm excited to see the difference between a fine class.
Yeah, it's kind of how it seems like it's like a face class of Paladin, because it's quite to me at least, even just from the description alone, it is the stereotypical Paladin. Yeah. You're devoted to your cause, you make an oath to protect the weak, and you're basically a noble crusader.
Yeah. Nothing super special there in that regard. So what do we get at level 3?
So we have two things at level 3, but the first we'll go over is your Oath of Devotion spells. So as per usual, the spells come into effect at levels 3, 5, 9, 13, and 17. And first off, in the new and updated version of Oath of Devotion, I am unsure have these spells changed any little bit. There have been a few changes, but we'll go over those anyway. So at level 3, we have Protection from Good and Evil, which is always nice if you end up dealing with phase fiends, undeads, those kind of things in your campaign. Shield of Faith, always a nice spell. 5th level, you have Aid and Zone of Truth. Aid, I am coming more into liking the more that I play Baldur's Gate 3. Aid is always useful. Zone of Truth, really funny for interrogation scenes and the like. At level 9, you have Beacon of Hope and Dispel Magic. At 13th level, you have Freedom of Movement and Guardian of Faith. And at 17th level, you have Commune and Flame Strike. And beforehand, most of these spells have remained the same, except, I think where the two changes that they have are at 3rd and 5th level spells. Beforehand, you got good Protection from Good and Evil and Sanctuary is replaced with Shield of Faith. 5th level, you had Lesser Restoration and Zone of Truth, and Lesser Restoration was changed with Aid. And I do believe Aid is a nicer spell to have. Always prepared no matter what, anyway. So all in all, I think they're better changes, because Sanctuary has its uses, but Shield of Faith might be a bit nicer.
Yeah, I agree. They're not major changes. They're just kind of better variations of the same vibe of spell. I like it. Pretty simple stuff. I think it's relatively on track with what it's going for as a paladin, as an Oath of Devotion spell. Like, it's very thematic still. Yeah. It's very bog standard. We're not, it's
very bog standard, but a lot of these spells can fit into an Oath of Protection just as easily, just from looking at them straight away.
Yeah. So let's see where they get a little bit different. Hopefully at level 3, as Dan preluded, there's also an ability called Sacred Weapon. When you take the attack action, you can expend one of your use of Channel Divinity to imbue one melee attack that you are holding with positive energy. Ooh. You gotta be positive, man. For 10 minutes, or until you use this feature again, you add your charisma modifier to attack rolls you make with that weapon, minimum bonus of +1. And each time you hit with it, you cause it to deal its normal damage type or radiant damage. This weapon also emits bright light of 20-foot radius and dim light 20 feet beyond that. You can end this effect early, no action required. This effect also ends if you aren't carrying the weapon. Now, the main change from 2014 to this 2024 ability is that it was an action by itself. Now it's kind of a free action as long as you attack beforehand. And of course, it can now also deal radiant damage instead of just your weapon's normal damage type, which makes sense. I always enjoy a free action. I'm here for it.
It's really kind of giving me He-Man vibes, the new version of Sacred Weapon.
I have the power.
Exactly, yeah. So like, as you're making an attack action, I have the power and just fucking smack the shit out of things with a glowing weapon for 10 minutes.
Hey, I've watched He-Man.
Also, I do believe, the one other change that was there for it as well, did you mention it, is the Sacred Weapon now lasts for 10 minutes rather than just 1.
Oh, that's so true. I did not mention that.
Yeah. I think they did lose Turn the Unholy, but I think that's very similar to Turn Undead, which is, I think, a cleric. I don't know, do paladins also have it? I'm not sure. I think they get a different channel divinity than clerics, but clerics can, just turn undead. Yes,
you have lost Turn the Unholy, but it's a piece of shit anyway.
It is a piece of shit anyway. Yeah. The Sacred Weapon,
it's a piece of shit that didn't make sense.
The Sacred Weapon is really, really nice because I think at base is what you have 2 channel divinities with paladins now. I know we only went over this last week. Yeah, 2. Oh, well. 2 channel divinities. Well, last week for you guys. 2 days ago for us.
Yeah, no, it's even worse. You get, I'm pretty certain that at level, you get 2 now. Very early.
2, yeah, which is pretty good. But yeah, being able to add your charisma modifier to attack rolls you make with the weapon, which is pretty good. It means your weapon is going to be hitting a hell of a lot more. You don't get extra damage from this feature, but you can decide to change it to normal or radiant. And because you change it to radiant with this effect, you can get around magical resistance. Non-magical resistance.
And you can, yeah, no, it's good. It's good, and especially early on in the game, that's going to be very important. You kind of very much see it way earlier. Like it's more common in early parts of the campaign rather than kind of moving on later on. But no, it's a good ability which they've improved upon. I like the fact that it's 10 minutes. That should pass over nearly multiple fights just in case, or potentially kind of role-playing abilities. I like it. It's good. I like we're using Channel Divinity as a resource. I'm delighted it's a free action. Yes, thank you. Well done. Bosh.
Bing bang bosh.
Bing bang bosh.
Bang bosh. Yeah, but we like Sacred Weapon.
Bing bong.
So that brings us on to level 7 then, with the Aura of Devotion. So with your normal Paladin's aura, this one means that you and your allies have immunity to the charmed condition while you are in your aura of protection. If a charmed ally enters the area or enters the aura, that condition has no effect on the ally while they're there. As I think this may become kind of like a common change to auras going forward, maybe if it's protecting against a certain condition. I would like to see if that's the case.
That'd be cool.
Because it would be really, really cool. It is a nice change.
I'd appreciate it.
Because beforehand, at 7th level, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be charmed while you're conscious. And of course, at 18th level, your aura increases to a radius of 30 feet.
So it hasn't changed too much. Obviously, if they have the condition and they go into the sphere, they lose that condition. It's good. It's good. It's fine. I don't know how often people are getting charmed. That could be just you're not a massive fan of that condition as a DM, so we don't.
I think it's because I'm more so leaning to the kind of frightened condition a little bit more, which is why we have a bias towards this can prevent frightened. Yeah, that's nice. I don't tend to mess around with charmed too much because the charmed condition is dangerous to use as a DM if you use it too prolifically, because if an ally is charmed to the enemy side, that's already like really swaying action economy in favor of the enemy, depending on what kind of fight it is, because then that ally becomes an enemy while the charm condition is active. So having an Oath of Devotion Paladin on your party that can get in close now can actually remove the charm condition as long as that ally is within that aura, and only while they're in that aura. It just means that the charm condition just has no effect while they're there.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like you said, like when it does come up, it'll be super helpful. I do think that I'd be very careful when picking the devotion, because then you got to wait another 8 levels to get something else from your Oath of Devotion. So I'm not certain. It's going to be great in some campaigns. I think in most campaigns it'll be a level up where you get something and you just don't feel it like you should.
Yeah, I get that.
Moving on to level 15. Back in 2014, you had Purity of Spirit, where you were always under the effects of the protection from good and evil spell.
Which actually was it was kind of nice, but it was just meant that you would gain you and only you would gain the benefits. Like, because I'm not too sure if that has changed, but the old version of protection from good and evil, it grants several benefits. So creatures of the types listed above, being aberrations, celestials, elementals, fey, fiends, and undead, have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target of the spell. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throw against the relevant effect. So they're immune to charm, frighten, or possessed by those creature types, and those creature types are disadvantaged against them. So old Oath of Devotion Paladin at level 15, provided your campaign contained a lot of those creature types, was a huge help as a frontline tank.
Yeah, absolutely. But that has changed completely back in 2024 into Smite of Protection. Your magical smite now radiates protective energy. When you cast Divine Smite, you and your allies have half cover while in your aura of protection. The aura has the benefit until the start of your next turn. Now, we as a D&D party, we don't tend to engage much with cover. I think that's potentially as a game mechanic, it's a game mechanic we really just don't use. If you're a bit unfamiliar with it yourself,
most people just go in guns blazing in our group.
Yeah, but I say we very much focus more on. For me, it's definitely more to do with flanking. Is far more important than anything else.
Yeah.
Got to get your flank on, boy. And for those of our listeners who are a bit unfamiliar with half cover, you gain a +2 bonus to your AC, and I believe it's a +2 on dexterity saving throws.
You are correct. Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Getting that, say a +2 AC, that's better. That's more consistent. I'd like to, than 2014 was. 2014 was super specialized for going up against a certain type of enemy. Here, you're able to use it irregardless of the campaign.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked because they changed Smite of Protection, they didn't change Aura of Devotion to a degree to maybe a more, I guess, because Frightened would probably be the most consistent condition out there.
I'm feeling maybe one of the other auras of the new and updated Paladins may be Frightened, but then again, I'm not familiar enough with Paladin to to really confirm or deny it unless I was to go and fucking look right now.
If I could be fucking bothered.
If I could be fucking bothered, but just being able to that right there gives a level 1 spell like Divine Smite such a huge upside for Smite of Protection. By essentially having any allies that are close to you gain 2 AC and +2 to dexterity saving throws, which is already which the +2 stacks on top of what your aura already gives them, which is a bonus to saving throws equal to your charisma modifier. And for example, your charisma could be an 18, which means your modifier is +4. So once you cast Divine Smite, allies have an extra +6 to dexterity saving throws, which is probably the most common save to make in the game, especially against things like breath weapons and area of effect spells.
Yeah, I think maybe Constitution might be a touch higher, because granted, that could be our particular party bias. There's loads of dexterity saving throws out there. It's good. No, this is good. That's a level 15 ability. I'll be really interested to see what they get at level 20.
All right, let's fucking bring it home. So I'll start with the new version of their level 20 ability, Holy Nimbus, which is the exact same name as before. So as a bonus action, you can imbue your aura of protection with holy power, granting the benefits below for 10 minutes or until you end them with no action required. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, and you can also restore your use of it by expending a 5th level slot. Again, no action required for that spell slot usage. So you gain Holy Ward. So you have advantage on any saving throw you are forced to make by a fiend or an undead. Both are quite common types in the game. So you have Radiant Damage. So whenever an enemy starts its turn in the aura, that creature takes radiant damage equal to your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus, which at level 20 will likely be either 10 or 11 total. And then Sunlight, the aura is filled with bright light that is sunlight. If you're going against undead or vampiric types of enemies, this will cripple that fight completely. And that is incredible. Okay. So the old Holy Nimbus, as an action, you can emanate an aura of sunlight. For a minute, bright light shines from you in a 30-foot radius, and dim light shines 30 feet beyond that. Whenever an enemy starts its turn in the bright light, the creature takes 10 radiant damage, so it's just a flat 10. In addition, for the duration, you have advantage on saving throws against spells cast by fiends or undead. Notice that the new version of it is any saving throw you would be forced to make by a fiend or an undead. That means their abilities and so on and so forth. And once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So no way to recharge it. So by far the new one is better, just because it is number 1 bonus action for action economy. That's huge. Lasts for 10 minutes instead of 1. You now have advantage on any saves by fiend or undead. Your radiant damage still likely will be 10 around that point, because you do tend to favor charisma quite heavily with paladins. So give or take, depending on what you do, if you put more into strength than charisma, you could end up having anywhere between 9 and 11 radiant damage when a creature starts its turn in the aura. And the bright light that now counts as sunlight is huge as well. As I think it's
definitely
with the vampire type enemies and such.
God, yeah. I think it's very much turned into the Holy Nimbus 3000.
Big fucking Harry Potter reference here,
Cheeky,
seriously.
fucking cheeky little broom knowledge. No, it is much better. It's a really big improvement from 2014, especially the capstone ability for the subclass. But does that make the subclass good? Is what I'm challenging myself with, right? So you obviously get it for 9 extra more minutes. You're able to do far more saving throws. You have the ability to have a higher radiant damage, but realistically, like you said, that bracket's going to be 9 to 11, and the average of that, is 10. So you could fight and get that extra point, but I don't see that as a big, massive change. The 10 minutes and bonus action and the recastability obviously make it a lot better, but does it make it like I there's a reason I never went with Oath of Devotion for the Paladin for whenever I kind of dipped into it. It's a fine subclass, and they've massively improved it. Let's not get anyone wrong. This subclass has been massively improved.
Yeah, it
my
needed
opinion.
a bit of a facelift.
It got a facelift, but I think my gut is telling me to give this a 5. I think it's pretty bog standard. I think it's relatively easy pick up and play, which is good. I like the tenets are relatively simple. On a role-playing ability, I think you can have fun with this subclass. I think that's kind of it. You're gonna make more impact in some campaigns than others, and that part I actually really dislike about it. I don't like the fact that it's a specialist subclass for a certain type of campaign. So 5, yeah. Realistically, this should be maybe a 6, but the fact, especially because it'd be like a 7 if you're in a massive undead fiend campaign. But I don't care. It's what it turns me off even more. 5, final answer.
Yeah. If you're going into a long campaign with fiend or undead. Excuse me, sorry there. If you're going into a long campaign with fiends or undeads as kind of like a theme throughout, and it's going to be like a level 1 to 20, this subclass would be pretty good. Most of the fiend or undead kind of relevance comes towards the end. You still have access to your protection from good and evil, although it doesn't target you completely. I can see this being a huge multi-class target for fighters just to get level 3 sacred weapon channel divinity. I've been able to cast that twice a long rest for big fights for like extra consistent hits with your multi attacks and so on and so forth. The only thing is like sacred weapon for me is probably the best, most consistent ability this class has, because you're going to see level 3 a hell of a lot more than you're going to see Holy Nimbus. So I would have rathered if some of the beef for the class came earlier. I think this is just my main problem with Paladins, is their subclass abilities are so stretched and far apart that you get your level 3, your level 7, and then it's not until 15 and 20. So that's just my main problem. But I think I would agree with you in 5. It's bread and butter, but it is a great multi-class target just for the access to sacred weapon for a 3-level dip. So I'd be comfortable putting it at 5.
Yeah, I'm glad. Basically, sacred weapon is actually the best ability on this, and it's a shame that they didn't do anything more with it. But you know what? I think that, dear listeners, brings us to the end of another session where the dice are hard, the jokes are harder, and our standards are at an all-time low. If you enjoyed this chaos, be sure to like and subscribe. If not, at least we finished, even if you didn't. Goodbye.
Goodbye, my lovers. Goodbye, my friends.
Not very devoted.
We'll cut that one out.